mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad. Your mom and dad.
Well, welcome home, family. It's your mother and your father. Wow. And you know what? Listen up.
Here we go.
Last week, we covered the first 4 episodes of Love Overboard.
Today's the 17 episodes. Oh, sorry.
We covered the first 4 episodes. And we were gushing about how it is so fun and ridiculous and silly and, you know, just a fun, loose, good time. Well, guess what? It was all fun and games until we were introduced to the biggest villain that reality television has ever known, aka whoever cut Andrew's hair.
Wow.
Reveal yourself because you are the
I was wondering where you were going because I was like, the David thing is pretty bad, but I was like, ever? I'm like, whoa, that's
it's really bad and we're
massive
gonna get into it. I mean, it's really bad and we're gonna get into it. But the worst of the worst is reveal yourself. Whoever cut Andrew's hair.
Whatever producer did that, I mean.
I need details. I need to know. Number one, was it a producer because he was just nagging everyone for so long that he's like, I need someone to fix my hair? That they made some poor PA who's working their butt off have to stop and cut Andrew's hair and then deal with Andrew's complaints? Or did he demand a barber come onto the ship so that how does this man have the power?
There might have been like a makeup person, right? Like a hair and makeup person, no?
I mean, maybe for Gabby.
Yeah, but not for the whole crew,
right? Everyone's doing their own
doing
hair
their
and
own
makeup.
Thing. So maybe there was someone who just could kind of like snip some sideburns apparently off entirely. My question though about that little thing though is, do you think how real? I mean, he seems pretty real.
Are you serious?
No, because
I've never seen a person more serious about their hair situation.
But even just like
ever,
because he'll do this like, I'm an alpha male, you know, I'm this. But the whole mom thing was pretty wild. He said, you can't. What did he say? You have to let me call my mom.
He was demanding it. I thought for some reason
it's like, I demand to call my lawyer. You know what I mean? It's like in every crime movie when they're like, I get my call.
Yeah, but of course.
He's like, I get my mommy call, which was super interesting because what was funny too is like, I was expecting on the other end of the call, this like, how's my sweetheart? Even she was annoyed.
This is
Even
why
she's like, I'm done with this guy.
His mom, I became a massive fan of his mom and I needed.
Well, she created this. You could tell.
That's true. That's true. But I need to know details, okay, about mom, because like you said, he's like straight up almost having a panic attack, and I'm thinking something's like deeply wrong. I'm thinking he's having an anxious episode. Yeah. He's struggling with something mental health wise. I need to call my mother, and I'm like, let this man call his mom. And then he gets on the phone and he's like, Mom, someone destroyed my hair. You have to help. And
sideburns, not even the hair.
Excuse me,
really.
Someone destroyed my sideburns, and you need to help. And the fact that she right away goes, what the hell am I supposed to do?
He's like, you need to talk me through it or get me through it. He's like, something like, you need to get me through this.
I need details from Andrew's mother about Andrew. Like, I want to know. Tell us more about Andrew. I have so many curiosities. I need to know more about Andrew. And you know what? Shout out again. A true reality TV star in the making.
He's a classic archetype,
This man was able to get a phone call with his mom, get someone to cut his hair, demand from production that someone be brought on to cut his hair. So he's already able to like work the system in his favor, and he gets to the very end, and this man is able to pull an unbelievably beautiful, kind woman like Enna to become his like best friend.
Well, that's what's interesting about him.
This woman who deserves the world.
You know what I kind of figured out about him, honestly? What I kind of feel like Andrew is.
What?
And I feel like I kind of nailed this.
Okay. Spill it.
He is Michael Scott. Where I think he's like,
Office.
when it's not romantic, capable of being like a sweet hang. And I think the second he like has to get is interviewing for a job, is trying to get a girl, the pressure's on, he changes his entire approach. I'm not saying he's like totally different. I'm just saying like, I think he turns into Date Mike. I think he does these things where all of a sudden I gotta, girls like this, so I posture up. Oh my gosh, it's cocktail hour, my hair. But I bet when all the lights are off, when all the like you gotta perform is off, he's probably a lot more chill and a lot more just kind of like, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm just saying it's funny because she is really cool and normal, so she has to have some sort of like, it's not like she's just being with him just for the friendship either, like, or just for like to stay on the ship. She said multiple times like, we've become really close friends. So I do think there's a level of like, when the lights are on, he just changes his entire personality.
When you have a moment where you have one brief moment where you're like, you know what, here are Andrew and Anna in the kitchen, and they're having this moment where they're like, you know what, we have each other and we've become great friends. And you're like, wow, Andrew's got this amazing woman like Anna as his friend. Yeah. And then he goes into ITMs and he goes, yeah, if I could just take Anna's personality and make her look like Christine, it'd be perfect. And I'm like, you just ruined everything, Andrew. We had a glimmer of like, oh, maybe. And then he says something like that about an unbelievably beautiful woman. Like what is, oh my God.
No, he is like, one of one. But he's a classic. He's like an old school reality TV guy.
I know.
Like nowadays, people are wise to it, right? So they're trying to get famous off of this. So they're playing a lot of games. But like he reminds me of just those OG reality TV stars before the games, before people knew it was up, before people were using it as a platform, to where they were just finding these people who were like, I don't even know what the show's about. Yeah. And you were just watching them being like, who is this person? Where do they come from? They're in their own world. He's in his own world. More than anyone else on the show. He's in his own world.
Well, clearly, because he needs to make sure that his hair looks fantastic. I mean, he's a star, whether you like the guy or not.
He is.
And that's what I have to say. He can go on
any show and do well.
This show, we finished all the episodes. We're going to cover all of them today. Okay, we're going to go through to the finale. This show was fantastic. I loved it. Well, I didn't love every second of it. I was panicking during half of it. It became so unhinged. The villain, with the David situation, it was, but then we met so many like wonderful reality TV stars. This show is packed with reality TV stars, and if they're not continued to be used in the reality TV sphere, it is a waste of extreme talent. Also, they need to hire Gabby for way more hosting gigs. She is so, the hilarity continues. The voiceovers rival Love Island voiceovers. Like, she is fantastic at this.
I have more to say about her too.
She's
incredible, but I have a couple small comments that of like why she's so good. That I
thought you were going to have a critique, no. And I was like,
no, I think she does a couple things that really make her kind of a next level.
She's next level.
Yeah,
she's next level.
She's really good.
I think what we all just witnessed is a show that has the potential to explode in the making, but it's necessary that it has to have stars that are cast in it, and they cast a slew of stars for this season.
No, it was,
and then you have an excellent host. I hope that this show blows up.
Yes,
because it deserves more eyes than it has on it. I think now.
I completely agree.
It's a hidden gem.
It's a total hidden gem.
If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it.
It's so good.
Okay, so we're gonna go over all the episodes, but also just side note: tune in next week. Tune in next week for our Temptation Island premiere recap. Okay, we're gonna be covering the new episodes of the new season of Temptation Island. I'm so very excited to dive into that. So tune in next week and join us for that. But let's get into this. But before we get into it, we got to take a quick pause. Family, girl, you know, watching David this whole season had me grinding my teeth. You know, from episode 1, I already had my thoughts. But honestly, what's new? Because I always grind my teeth. I always grind my teeth. Apparently, I've been doing it for years. I stress clench and grind, and then I clench and grind all through the night. And over the years, that has led to discomfort and teeth issues. That's why I trust Remy to protect my teeth using their custom night guard, along with over 350,000 Americans. Remy night guards are clinically tested and FDA cleared to prevent teeth damage from grinding, to reduce jaw tension and facial muscle strain, and to improve your sleep quality. And let me tell you, as someone who got their Remy custom fit night guard about a year ago, I've been wearing it every night. And yes, all the above is happening for me. And I am so very, very grateful. And check this out. You'll get the same professional quality and comfort as a night guard from the dentist for 80% less of the cost by taking your own impression from the convenience of your home. Yes, you heard me. 80% less.
80% less. Remy really is incredible. After you purchase, your impression kit comes straight to your door, and all you have to do is follow Remy's step-by-step instructions to get your perfect impression, and they really make it so easy. Then Remy crafts and ships your custom fit night guard. That's it. You get your night guard back, and you're protecting your teeth.
And the night guard is so comfortable. I don't even notice that it's in. It's so lightweight and it's thin. But what I do notice is all the positive effects from it. And again, 80% less. Okay. So if you lose one or you need a refresher, it's totally doable, which is incredible. Remy is just the best, hands down, from how seamless the impression kit is to how incredibly comfortable the night guard wearing experience is to the cost. Just so grateful for Remy. Protect your teeth with Remy by using code MOMDAD to get 50% off your new night guard. That's 50% off at shopremi.com/momdad with code MOMDAD. shopremi.com/momdad with code MOMDAD. Thank you, Remy, for sponsoring this episode. Okay, let's get into Love Overboard. So let's start off at the top of episode 5. The couples as they are at the top of episode 5 are David and Lo, Tim and Gia, Leela and Karai, and Keith and Delaney. Okay, so a few things before we get into their first challenge that we're seeing at the top of this episode. Number 1, we have our star, Bella, who is really, she is going through it, and she is searching for love.
I know.
Bella is a pure of heart.
So sweet, she's so funny. As we were talking about stars, this show has a lot of them. And again, and when I say the word like reality TV star, I mean like someone who could be on like 7 different shows and do well. And she's definitely one of those.
She could do everything.
She's charming. She's funny. She's a little unhinged, but she's also like sweet. And like, she's just kind of got everything that could bring. She's got a lot of funny one-liners. She says a lot of funny stuff. Like ITMs are fire. Like she's great.
But the more we get to know of her, the more that we see this like sensitive, sweet heart that she has, because she's got the bougie, funny lines, and then she's like, the pelvis is gyrating and pulsating, but then she's just like, I don't feel like I'm enough, and everyone.
She's got great breakdowns. Not to make light of the breakdown, but like her crying is like iconic. You know what I mean?
You're like, you're hurting because you're like, oh my God, she's crying, saying that she's like, I'm letting these 5'2" men make me lose confidence in myself, and we want to like reach into the screen, and I want to like pull her out and give her a hug and be like, Bella, you are an absolute goddess. Like, yes, we're going to drop you in the center of Love Island, and you will gain millions of followers, and you will find love all over the place. Okay. But the conversation when she was sitting with Bradley, I just have to make a comment about it, because when she is like basically trying to get out like from him, if he's interested in her at all, she's like, what if the two of us went topside together? What about the two of us? And he's just sitting there and he's like, I don't know. And then when she finally gets him to straight up say like, could you see a connection between us? He's like, I think we have a nice, repartee, but I don't have any feelings. I'm just mad that I ate so many chips.
I wrote that down to the chips.
I'm just mad. And then Evan, he gets up and he comes back with more food.
Yeah,
Did you notice this?
So he's definitely struggling with like I worked out super hard to get ready for this show, but now I'm like just really hungry and like I haven't eaten in days. to shred out for that opening shot, and now I just want to eat, and that's all I can think about. I saw him rubbing his stomach like in 7 different scenes where he's just like he literally
he's
was
stuffing
like
himself with the buffet.
Exactly. He's like on all this free food, and he's like, this was so it was funny. That's all I could think about.
For him to say, I'm just so mad I ate so many, because I was getting more of the vibe. It's like, I have a tummy ache.
Right.
And then he sits down and eats like 1,000 peanuts.
Well,
and I was like, Bradley, your tummy ache's going to get worse.
His experience on the show was really funny to me because he gave 0 effort to anyone.
0.
And he was gone quick. So it was a very funny, like, you think he would have at least like been like, you know what, Bella's not mine, maybe like my normal type, but let's hang out and see if something comes of this. Or pull a, Andrew's situation where it's like, well, let's be friends and go topside. He was like uninterested in being a part of the show at all. And then just like, remember when the New Girls came on, he never even tried with it was funny. He just kind of was hanging out. And then after a while, now he's gone. It was like, there was 0 effort.
And then not to like jump too much forward, but later on when they have to break up into couples,
right,
and then him and Sade couple up and then Sade leaves.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. He stays until they literally have to physically kick him
like
off.
He wanted to be.
He was just like,
maybe his whole thing was like, I just really want to do the plank.
He wanted to vacate.
I want to do the plank.
He wants to do the plank.
That's all he wanted.
He's like,
because he's just waiting to get taken out. 0 fight, 0 trying, and then just like got taken out. And it's like, what was the point of this for you?
What were you doing? That's why I'll stand by
funny.
The fact that you were like, oh, he's joking. He's joking on purpose. No, the way that he interacted in these few episodes, I'm like, this man is 100% being himself, and he is unhinged.
Unconvinced.
Anyway, a few other things are happening. One of which is that we have Jake, Andrew, and Bradley who continue to form kind of a nightmare blunt rotation. The 3 of these boys join together and they're like, we have each other's backs.
It's the bro bond.
They're like, we need some new hotties on this shit.
My favorite was though when they're like hanging out talking, like we don't show emotion. They had that kind of like, we want to say that we're in this together, but we're too tough. We can't say anything.
We're too alpha.
So it was really funny. They're all just like, yeah, this would be nice if some hot chicks came on. Yeah, totally. 2 of the boys. Yeah. And then Andrew kind of tries to get real for a second. He's like, just so you know, guys, I have your back. No, my questions asked. And the guys are like, okay.
And then he trips.
And then he falls. It's just very funny because like Andrew's like tried. Andrew was just the kind of sweet kid in like junior high.
I know.
Who then like started working out, getting the haircut. He's like, this is what it takes to be a real cool guy.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of in a group and he's kind of he's like, will they discover me? You know what I mean? Like,
I think Andrew probably used to be a sweet like engineer student.
100%.
And then he started watching too many podcasts.
And now he's trying to like be this. He's like, well, this is what guys do. And then like now he's kind of in these groups and he's just kind of like, it was very cute in a way for him to be like, and by the way, guys, I have your back. It's like, have your back? What does that mean? You're gonna be fighting over one girl. What do you mean have your back? Against who? What are you talking about?
I love this show so much.
It was very funny.
It's so ridiculous.
It was just a funny comment. Of all the things he could have said, it's like, not good luck, boys, not, hey, may the best man win, or hey, no matter what happens, we're friends. I got your back. It's like, against what?
Against who?
Against the girl you're going to be trying to date?
Which later we see, it's like, what are you talking
and again,
about?
Just to fast forward real quick, my favorite thing is when she chooses, what's his name?
Christine, when Christine chooses Jake.
Yeah, how he's like, I never liked her anyway. She's ugly and disgusting and I hate her. Like, it's just funny to watch a guy who got rejected immediately go like, I dumped her first energy.
By the way, every woman who's ever been on a dating app is like, oh, we know Andrew. Yeah. Because it's just like every guy that's ever been rejected ever is like, yeah, I never liked you. You're ugly in the first place. I never even were interested.
She
and you're
likes
just like,
Jake. He goes, I'm not into her. That's very funny.
And he gives a list of why he'd never be into her. Where for a fact, when he saw Christine and he was like, hey, by the way, we met years ago at a club, she doesn't remember him. Right. And then she's like, well, why didn't you hit me up? And he's like, well, if you check your DMs,
like,
this man's been messaging her weekly for years. And she's probably some Insta model who like never has seen his DM and is just like, who are you? Yeah. Like I get hit up by like a million people every week. Funny. And he's just like every week, just like, ooh la la, looking beautiful today, babe. Gorgeous babe.
Yeah.
Looking beautiful today, babe. Talking to her in DMs like it's his girlfriend.
Right. Every good morning. All right, let's continue on.
So before the challenge, we do see that Lo and David are looking cozy. Okay, we see them getting intimate at night. They are continuing with the intimacy. But then we hear in the ITMs that David's like, I just feel pressure to be like the power couple, and that's kind of like wearing on me, and I'm like, shut up.
Which is a classic sign of like you're not stoked.
And then he won't stop talking about the sexual compatibility.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
Interesting?
No. What I mean is like he was always making these like differentiations between like compatibility versus chemistry are two different things. And I was just like, I'm not really understanding any of this.
You know what?
He was kept saying she enjoys the sex, but I don't really.
Well, you know what? Why?
Like, what is happening?
Do you know why?
No.
It doesn't make any sense? Because it doesn't make any sense.
Right,
it's just a bunch of excuses for him, because what we learn about David is that the man loves to try to sidestep a question and come up with the whole, spiel about this and that, which actually the definition of this, and you're like, that's not what the question was. He should have been, instead of a therapist, he should have been a lawyer. I still can't get over the fact that this man is a therapist.
It's like, what was in it for you, bro?
Chose to come on this show and do what he did. All the clients are gone.
All the clients are gone.
All the clients are gone.
I don't know how you come back from this.
I mean, you can't. If one client sees him on this show, they're going to find out who his roster is and call everybody.
And then on top of what he did, he's then confessing to previous stuff. Like, I cheated on my ex. And it's just like, oh, gosh, dude. Like, this is just... I mean, you just sign off.
And then wait till we get to the very end of this, and I tell you, catch up on what's currently happening right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fantastic, and I'm sure we've completely changed.
Unbelievable. Okay, so they have a challenge. It's called Storm the Castle, and we get two new shipwreckers who are joining the competition, Val and Christine. As Bella says, we've got two new BBL baddies out here. Val is a chemist, okay? I mean, she is a smart woman, and with all due respect, I'm not trying to say this to sound, not respectful, but she is full of plastic, right? She is a plastic BBL baddie, aka David is drooling.
David's type.
It is his type, as he has said. He wants everything plastic. Love a plastic top, love a plastic bottom. Like, that's his whole vibe, okay? Plastic surgery deluxe. And Val walks in and he is literally like, he can't stop laughing and smiling. Like, it's out of control.
There was 2 times that David smiled more than I had seen him smile the entire show. Time. It was when David got asked, when she said, I'm going to compete for David. When Val competed for David during this challenge. And then when David got asked to be on the date. I watched him, like I was literally analyzing. He was beaming. And he was trying to like shut it down, but he was smiling so hard he couldn't shut it down.
Correct.
He's never smiled. I've never seen him smile like the whole show. And then those 2 moments, it was like ear to ear.
He's not a smiler.
So, and as a non-smiler, when you do, hard to, you know what I mean? It comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching you like a hawk. Exactly. I'm going to bring in some BBL baddies and start watching you like a hawk, my friend.
Bringing up BBL baddies into the house, be like, are you smiling? Wow.
So then, and then of course there's Christine, and that's when Andrew's like, oh my gosh, we met before. And him and Jake immediately are like eyes on Christine, and they both look at each other and they're like, that's my girl. And he's like, no, that's my girl. And by the way, the whole Jake, Christine, Andrew love triangle, I was just really hoping that they'd have a threesome.
Oh, wow.
I was waiting for that.
If there was to be a threesome, it would have been them.
I just felt like...
Unfortunately, Andrew had no shot.
Well, I just think that Andrew was just, he was too tense. I think he's too tense to have a threesome, but I feel like if Andrew would have loosened up a little bit, I think there would have been a potential for them to, just have the three of them just be together. I don't know. Okay. I just felt like they're in that little cabin together. I'm like, true. Why is... I was just waiting for it to happen. Andrew was like just watching him like rub her feet.
He was just like in the corner.
Is this going to happen or no? Okay, anyway. So the challenge is that the topside men are at the top of this thing, and the women have to climb all the way up, and whatever woman gets to the top first ends up claiming that guy, and I mean, basically there's no changes. We'll just put it this way, there's no changes. All the current women get the men that they're currently with, but 2 side notes is, number 1, we had Bella and Lexi go against Delaney for Keith because they're just trying to get topside.
Sure.
And Bella is like, I had 3 cups of coffee today. I am like a big climber. I've got this thing. She's like, I see sunshine. I see flowers and rainbows. I'm going to have a great day. And she struggled. And that was kind of, I think.
Finish. I know.
I think
that was really the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
There.
I think that was a big discouraging.
She was already on the edge.
Moment for her. And then the other big thing is, like you mentioned, that Val challenges Lo for David, of which David is laughing and beaming. In this moment, Lo lets Val know, just FYI, David and I are in love. And Val right away is kind of like, please, it's been a couple weeks.
No,
yeah,
she
right.
said, I think she said like 7 days or something like that.
It's been a week, whatever it's been.
I think she was kind of like, I don't know what you're talking about.
And so Val basically is like, competition's on, and Lo is like, David and I are in love. David, I don't know if you notice this, is fake encouraging Lauren the entire time. As soon as Lauren starts climbing, he's like, you got this, get it girl. And I'm like, David,
it's more once he realized once he realized
yes.
Lo was winning by a lot, he then did the whole like, oh, you got that, because it was kind of like, well, she's gonna win, so I bet as well sell this, because I mean,
the level
when they were toe and toe for a second, he was just gonna sit there, and then the second she took off, he was like, all right, that's my girl.
The fakery, the manipulation to all of a sudden be like, yes, please, come on.
Right.
Oh, and then when she gets up and he's like, oh, thank God you got me, baby. I'm like, ew, David.
Yeah.
Ew, David. Okay, so the couples, they remain, Tim and Gia, Karai and Leela, Lo and David, and Keith and Delaney. And back on the boat, we're about to hit happy hour. And this is when it starts to get really spicy. Okay?
Yeah, this is when, we got Val coming up to David and kind of give him a little flirt ski for the first time. Give him a shot. Lo is in full defense mode. And she was like hitting on you. What the hell? Okay. And then this is when Val really starts to go, I'm making a move.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Okay. But also, just a side note, in this happy hour process, this is beforehand where we see Bella having her moment where she's really struggling. And by the way, you know who she's telling all of her struggles to? Sade. Mm-hmm. Look at these 2 queens who end up becoming besties through their argument. They have now become besties for the resty. 2 reality TV queens. Yeah. Okay. And then Bella has everyone gather together, and she's like, I'm making a toast. Yes. And she wears her finest dress. And she's like, I have not found love, and I'm out of here.
She made a romantic exit that was very beautiful. She
so
claimed
sweet.
it.
She claimed it.
My favorite line, though, is like she leaves and everything. And then I think she said something to the fact of like, there was no way you were going to put me on the plank. like the whole thing was like, there's no way I'm going in the water like that. Like, I'm just walking out of here.
She's walking
there's
out.
No world where I get planked.
And you know what she said? When she said, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you could have put me in that hellhole. If I would have been with my dog, my mommy, and some of my friends, I would have had a great time.
Right.
She's like, but people, they didn't understand me. And that broke my heart in a million pieces.
Very sad.
Okay?
Yeah.
So shout out to Bella. We'll see you on Love Island, baby.
100%.
We better see you on Love Island.
A couple of these shows.
Okay, let's talk about the drama during happy hour with David, Lo, and Val, and how that leads to a date. Yes. But first, we have to take another quick pause. Family, so you know Love Overboard. It is really such a great show. Only thing we're missing is a dog.
Yeah, that would have really made
a cute pup sailing the 7 seas with Gabby. I feel like, come on now, you know?
Couldn't agree more.
Anywho, speaking of, I need to confess something. I realized recently that I celebrate our dog's birthdays more than some people in my life. Like, I'm talking treats, a special dinner, maybe a little photo shoot situation. I've absolutely sung happy birthday to my dogs many times. And I had this moment where I was like, wait, is this normal? And then I was like, I don't care. Okay, these are our babies. And if you're a dog parent, you get it. They're family. And when you love them like that, you start caring about everything, especially what you're feeding them.
And if anyone understands that level of obsession, it's Ollie. Ollie makes fresh dog food recipes developed by real chefs and backed by vet nutritionists using high quality ingredients. They're really focused on giving your dog the best possible meals, and the whole experience is tailored. You tell them about your dog, age, weight, activity level, and they create a personalized meal plan with perfectly portioned meals. Everything shows up ready to go, and they include a pup container and scoop, so it's super easy to store and serve.
And one of the coolest parts is the health check-ins. Through the Ollie app, you can upload a photo of your dog and their team can help check things like weight, digestion, teeth, and coat, which just gives you that extra peace of mind. And I will say, since switching to Ollie, our dogs are fully obsessed with the food. Okay, I'm talking like it's not casual. Like there's pacing, there's adoration. The excitement is just next level. And honestly, I love it so much. It makes me feel good knowing that they're excited about what they're eating and that we're giving them something that's also really high quality. And since they've started eating Ollie, their coats are looking shinier. The poops are better. The breath is better. Our little older girl, Ashley, has a little more pep in her step. Like everything's just been better. Okay, Ollie's just the best. So get ready for both you and your pup to be obsessed. Head to ollie.com/momdad. Tell them all about your dog and use code MOMDAD to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer an obsession guarantee. If you're not completely obsessed, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/momdad and enter code MOMDAD to get 60% off your first box. Ollie, feed the obsession. Okay, so back to happy hour. We have Val, who has set her sights on David and who is going to try to get to pursue him enough to get this date reward. So she pulls David aside. He willingly goes. He's beaming, right? All the things. And as they're talking, Lo comes in and she's just kind of like, hey guys, what's going on? I was on my way to get a drink, but just as
I was on my way to
get a drink.
They were downstairs from where everyone was.
Down all
she
these ladders
has jumped off the edge in the water, come up through the bottom like a heist, and it's just like I was on my way.
I don't know, I was on my way.
Yeah,
just casual.
It's like you live an hour from here. I was just driving by.
She's got like ropes around and suction cups that she's used to like
completely
crawl
drenched. It was very funny. Like, what's up going on, guys? We're hanging out. Oh,
no,
cool.
I'm gonna go get a drink. She's like, but by the way, there's no point of this. Val,
Right.
I don't know what you're trying to do.
Right.
But David and I are very much together. Now, okay. From Valerie's perspective, Valerie is kind of like, I mean,
I've been watching David look at me all night.
I've been watching
let's
David.
be real.
Yeah, I've been watching David staring at me. But Lo, okay, I just want to throw this out there, makes it very clear where her and David are at, that they both really like each other, that they're having very serious conversations.
Yeah.
And David stands there and does not deny it. And by the way, later on the date, David doesn't continue to deny. He doesn't deny it. He doesn't say, oh no, actually Lo and I
He
are
says
in that
stuff
place.
in ITMs, but he's not saying it to her.
No.
Right.
And so then Lo comes and basically like defends her man and their relationship.
She stakes the claim.
She stakes the claim. But then right after that, David pulls her aside and is like, baby, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
I just care about you so much. And we've heard David now in ITMs not shut up about his whole like sexual compatibility and feeling panicky. Well, he decides in that moment to be like, you know what, baby, I got to ask you something. Will you be my official girlfriend?
Right.
Evan, fucking
that was such an interesting move.
Diabolical. Because now,
saying, what is like, if you are contemplating it, if you are feeling on edge, if you are feeling like I'm not sure I want this, right? It's one thing to be like, I'm not going to say it and just kind of let everything stay the same. Like that,
but to make it official.
But that's what's so strange to me is it's like this new girl who you're actually interested in comes on. So now you have actually an opportunity to maybe get out of this situation you're in and into something different. And you make it official. Yeah. Like I would love to, honestly, like just logically, I'd love to ask him like, what was the brain thought there?
Well, the brain thought was I I can't tell you in like the 7 circles of hell. What I can tell you is that this is why women for all of eternity are like, we can never trust men, because from Lauren's perspective, from Lo's perspective, it's like, this man just stood by, heard me defend our relationship, and then asked me to be his girlfriend, which is just affirmation
for whatever
from Lo's perspective that David liked that I was defending our relationship enough to the point that he wants to like secure it right now and be like, you're my girlfriend.
It locks in 2 things. One is that we're good for each other and he has no issues. And then number 2, my behavior he liked.
Yes, he liked that I was defending him.
He did it right after that. Yes. So it's like double. So and he didn't like either. He's like, I'm not really into her that much anymore. And I didn't like the way she acted.
Yeah, I know. So it's literally, it's like, how twisted.
How possibly could you know?
For poor Lauren to have to process later, like the idea of like the guy being like, in ITM saying all the opposite. Right. But then in that moment, even when Lo, you know, is going to have that sinking feeling when you're watching, your gut being like something's off.
Something's up, yeah.
But is actually being told that everything's not just great, it's perfect. In fact, please be my girlfriend. Diabolical, okay? So they officially make it a fish. So Val doesn't know that they're now boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right.
But, I'm talking about this a little bit later, Val does know that Lo has made it clear that she's really interested in him, and she knows that on the ship they're the most solid couple. Right. Okay, that is known.
It's at least Val's like Lo's saying that's the case. That's kind of the difference. Is that Val is aware that Lo has made it clear that in her mind that is the case. But not just Val her mind. Keeps saying, no, I'm saying Val, in their world, they're solid, whatever. I'm saying Val, though, is probably seeing David scope her out. He's not shutting her down when she approaches her. So she's going, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, from his end, I'm not buying it.
From her interactions with him, I'm not buying what she's saying about them.
But she's also, though, hearing then the crew of people being like, it's the mom and dad of 100% of the yacht. Okay,
she sees a crack in the wall though. She's like, something's up. There's light through the crack of that wall.
Sure. Yeah, because I want to talk about this. We'll get there. So anywho, she ends up getting the date. Yeah. Okay, so Val takes David on a date, and she says when she pulls David, she's like, do you want to go and clear things up? Let's go talk.
That was a really interesting choice of words.
Well, that's part of what I want to talk about later.
What is that? Clear things up.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I know you, like.
That was like a tiny dig at Lo being like, can we talk about all this stuff without the person who's putting words in your mouth type energy? That would clear things up, said to me.
Well, and what I took it as is, you know, that we're together, but that, you know, I'm interested in him, so like, let's clear the air and like, you know, get to a good like friend place. That's how I kind of heard it.
I took it as last night we didn't get to finish our conversation. Okay. This person came in and stated the rules.
Yeah.
Let's clear things up, because I didn't hear you agree to any of that.
Interesting. Well, you know, the whole crew thinks that David's going to handle it beautifully. We hear like Karai be like, hey, pull him aside. Hey, I know you got to go on this date, but like, I know you're going to be respectful, my guy. And David's like, absolutely. As he's like putting
I think
lube in his back pocket.
I think no one, it'd be interesting, because all the girls were telling Lo, he's the best, don't you worry. All the guys were telling David, you're going to be great, you're going to be great. I felt like everyone, it was the desire versus the reality. Yeah. Everyone was saying all this, but they could smell something was up.
I think so
everyone's
too.
Doing that like, I'm fine, you're fine, everything's fine. And it's kind of like, I don't know. Like, that was a lot of people. Everyone's saying you're good. And that to me is generally like, you should be concerned when everyone's saying you're good. Because it's kind of like.
I know, but you know what? When we heard later when Leela was like, I'm devastated because David and Lo were the mom and dad of the house. And like, David broke my heart because like, he was my dad. Yeah, so I do think there was an energy of like, it felt like these two were solid. And that they were like, oh, David's a really good, solid guy. Like, I feel like he's the dad of the boat.
But it's like, did he do anything to deserve that, or was it? Yeah, but did he do anything to deserve that title? Or was it more her and the girls talking about how good their relationship's going? And then because of that message, they're going, oh, they're great. But in reality, we didn't see anything from him to really show that it's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm wondering kind of how, I don't know. It's just an interesting situation, especially because we have all the behind the scenes too. So we're seeing everything.
But we're also,
like, how could you not see this?
But we're also not. We're missing a ton. That's why I think I disagree with you. I think that I think in the back of your mind, you know when something's a little bit off for sure, but I do think that it was presenting a certain way because every single person on that boat was like, they're the mom and dad. Yeah. He's super solid. Nothing's going to happen. Like, they trusted him implicitly.
All sorts of, you know, positive wispings in her ear all night long. We're together. We're going to be together. We're strong.
Well,
we're strong.
Remember
we're strong.
the moment where he looked at her and cried?
Oh yeah, about
and
the whole. Thank you for
her hand
me.
and cried and was like, "You're unlike any other woman I've ever met, and like you're here for me."
Diabolical.
I mean, the way that she was holding him, the intimacy that they got to within like a week and a half.
That was like day 4 too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this woman was made to believe and shown that they were like locked in. She was like the actual love of his life.
So then they go on this date and nothing happens at all.
So of course it's a spa treatment in a dark candlelit
you saw that
cavern.
Coming from a mile away.
Of course it's candlelit. It
wasn't hiking.
And then, Evan, I would like to just put it out there that within 30 seconds, David was spanking her.
Yeah.
He was spanking her. He started spanking her with a cactus leaf.
Right.
And then he started to use his bare hand with, I think, honey on it.
And then he was just massaging her butt straight up.
He just stayed on the ass and continued to spank her. Okay? I mean,
this show really, they saw this coming from all the way. They're like, we have an idea. I mean, we have this girl named Val, and we have a date idea, and this is perfect.
I mean,
so they're already just like absolutely.
And by the way, she's like, as he's massaging her ass, Val's actually trying to like get to know him.
Sure.
She's like asking him like really deep conversations, and you can tell that Val's like, first of all, I'm attracted to him, but I actually really would like to get to know this guy and see if we have a potential. So Val's opening up like deep conversations. He's answering, but he's solely focused on the ass. Okay, so then they make their way to the shower. We hear them start to kiss. They're giggling, and then we see a producer say later, did she just give you a blowjob?
Yeah, because you're hearing a lot of stuff in the shower, like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like non-kissing, non-get to know. Oh wow, you know, stuff like that. Where it's like, okay, that's not what you say when you're making out with someone. That's crazy.
Already the fact that they're making out is insane.
Right.
Because literally less than 24 hours before, like 5 hours before, David just asked Lo to be his girlfriend. Right. Okay. And so now
already we're like, whoa.
You're like, holy shit. We've been spanking and now we're making out. And then we see a producer be like, did she just give you a blowjob? And he laughs at first. So it's not confirmed, but we're like, holy shit, I think she just gave him a blowjob. And then they start to they go to the jacuzzi, to the hot tub. They start making out. She's straddling him. They're hardcore making out. And we then hit episode 6. We end episode 5 with them straddling, making out. And then we start episode 6 with them getting back on the boat. And Val confirming to Christine that she sucked him off. Yeah. Okay. So.
And there was a lot of shots of like, you know, Lo being like, I'm chilling. There's no issue at all. I'm not afraid at all. And then.
No, she's like, I feel bad for her that she's about to hit the plank and she's going to be gone so soon.
She was saying stuff like, yeah, it must suck to go on a date with someone who's locked in, whatever. You didn't even have to unpack. And then Lexi was funny though, because Lexi was like sitting there talking to her and she's like, yeah, he's gonna be fine, right? And then Lo said something like, yeah, so what was your date? He's like, yeah, my date was like took mud and rubbed it all over each other's bodies
like,
in an extremely erotic way. And they're, oh, cool, yeah, everything's great. So they're definitely like, you can tell.
But Lo made me laugh so hard when they were sitting and having breakfast, and like Lo acknowledged, she's like, I know that they're gonna take David and Val on a date that's gonna be like find your clit, like something crazy that's gonna try to tempt him. Like Lo was aware that they were going to try to make it difficult for David, but she was still like, there's no way that this there's no way this man just asked me to be his girlfriend and then within less than like 10 hours is going to fall for temptation. Right?
Of course.
I mean, it just was so like, it's not going to happen.
Or in your worst nightmares, like a couple kisses or something. You know what I mean? Like 100%, like, you know, things happen, whatever.
Not fellatio.
So definitely you can tell she's nervous. You can tell she's self-soothing, but she's also not like totally, she's not spiraling.
No, by no means.
You can tell inside there's a storm going on, but she's keeping it together and she's kind of like staying positive. So then to the point where when he gets back, she's like, I can't wait to give my man a big hug. I know. They line up. They go straight to the plank, which was super smart of producers, just to be like, we're not going to give you any option.
They do that every time, and I think that's genius.
To interact or even have one word of communication so that you're completely in the dark.
I think it's genius.
Genius.
So they go straight to the plank ceremony, okay? And first of all, you can tell it is windy.
Very windy.
It's a cold, windy day. David is now panicking. He's like...
He's in full...
He's like, out. You know, I just really care about their feelings. Sure. And I'm just sitting here going, screw you. No, you don't. It is so obvious that you just realized that you're on television and now you're worried about losing a client or two. And now you're panicking because if there was no camera, you would have made a call like that.
It would be really interesting to see the no camera version of that.
Well, the no camera version, he made it clear. In his past relationships, he cheated vindictively. He did these things. No camera version. Think about what he did on camera.
That's my question.
AKA, he ended up getting fellatio.
That's what I'm saying.
2 seconds after.
All on camera.
So it was like the second they were on the plank and he was face to face with both of them, he realized he was on camera.
He realized because he started talking about her parents and her dad and her brother, seeing all that. Like it
was the reality of the fact that this is a TV show that people are going to watch. It hit him. And so then this man stood there.
How long was it again?
45 minutes.
It was wild to watch the dissension. Too, like, because for the first 5 and then the first 10 and then there's like 20 minutes in, they're like, okay, we really need an answer. It's funny if you were to like transcribe it, it was like, all right, David, it's your turn, and then he's like, oh, he's really struggling, and then it's like every 10 minutes it was like, all right, David, we need, and then it started going like, what the fuck, David, and they were like, you fucking like they were just like hurling insults, screaming at him because it's like he wouldn't move. And this is a little note where I love Gabby so much. Is that Gabby breaks that wall down sometimes where like she's more than just a host. She kind of also just kind of says funny stuff and kind of adds in. When she said something to him like, what the fuck, David? I'm like, the host just said to one of the contestants, what the fuck, David? And they left it in. It was very funny.
We're like breaking the fourth wall here.
We're all losing this. This like to really give you a scope of how bad this really is.
Yeah, this is like
45 minutes.
Evan, think about being standing on that platform as one of those women.
Well, they were having to bend over. They were struggling.
Lo was like, I'm going to pass out. This man asked her to be his girlfriend, and then he left her to stand on a narrow plank hovering 30 feet above the dark open ocean for almost an hour in a gorgeous gown, wind whipping through her, freezing her, chilling her to the bone, a pure humiliation ritual where she walked on that plank and was like, my boyfriend is going to choose me. Yes. And he then
proposed
stands
the boyfriend last night, and all of a sudden I'm up there for an hour.
And by the way, halfway through the 20 minutes, he goes, so something happened and you're not going to like it. And so I know there's no talking to you about it. And she goes, why don't you give me the chance and just talk to me about it? And then we'll go from there. And you give me the opportunity to have my own autonomy. It's literally it. I mean, I couldn't.
That's what it was. His thought was like, well, I don't know if we'll come back from this. But I'll lose her if I try. So that's what took 50 minutes is he was debating. I'll lose her if I experiment and I lose out in this conversation. So
the amount that he spoke was diabolical.
So little.
The almost zero conversation that he stood in silence and just stared at these women. I couldn't believe it. I don't think I've ever witnessed anything.
I would think he was hoping that they were just going to call it off.
Yeah,
he was because he didn't talk for like 40 minutes. But
hopefully we have like an iceberg situation. We have to get rescued, and then the show is done for forever. The show just ends.
I have a couple comments too, just about this is like when we really see Leela just go into full melt.
It was everything to me. It was everything.
I mean, yeah.
Let's talk about it. Because you know what? few episodes ago. Remember when she screwed over Bella because she's like, Lo's my girl. And we were like, hey, Leela's a pot stirrer, which she is. What she proved is that she might be a pot stirrer, but when she said she was protecting Lo, no, she loves Lo. Like, Lo's her girl, and she was about to throw David's body off of that yacht. Oh. She was about to hurl him into the sea and pray that Davy Jones came out and just would just take him to the depths of the ocean. That's what Leela was hoping for.
She does not hold back. She lets it rip.
Reality TV stars.
Another one.
People.
Another one.
Okay. Before we keep talking about it, we have to take another quick pause. Family. So, did any of these couples actually work out and stay together? We shall discuss that later. I have some tea. But if any did, and they're thinking of taking the next step and moving in together, may I suggest, as far as indoor and outdoor furniture pieces go, to check out Article. Of course, article.com, baby. My goodness, we love Article so much. We've loved them for years and years because they truly make it so easy to furnish a home and make it look simultaneously cozy and warm, but sophisticated and chic. Everything just feels curated. Like, you can pick a couple pieces and suddenly your space just works. You know, over the years, we've gotten like all of our pieces from them. And the first thing I noticed was the quality immediately. The packaging was super thoughtful, but even more than that, once we set up everything, it just felt solid. Like the weight of the furniture, the clean lines, the finishes, it feels like something that's actually going to last. And I can tell you firsthand, some of the Article pieces that we've had for years and years now, they last, and they last well.
They're amazing.
Yes, they're amazing.
Article has an amazing curated collection of pieces that are designed to last and work together too. So whether you're into mid-century modern, coastal, or more of that Scandinavian look, everything is made to mix and match easily, so your space feels super cohesive. And from a practical standpoint too, it's just easy. Shipping is fast and affordable across US and Canada, and a lot of pieces come mostly assembled. So if you want help, they even offer professional assembly as well. Plus, their customer care team is available 7 days a week, and they offer a free interior design support, which is actually really helpful if you're trying to figure out a room layout. So helpful. So helpful. Yeah.
I love them so much. I recommend Article to everyone. You got to just go on their website and scroll. You'll be inspired. I'm telling you. And they also have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So if something doesn't feel right once it's in your space, you can return it. But I'll tell you this, every piece that we've ever gotten, we have been completely wowed by. That's why over the years, we keep going back to Article. We keep going back because it's just the best. And today, Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/momdad, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/momdad for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Okay, so getting back to the David Plank situation and Leela, you were talking about Leela's.
No, I was, so he drops Lo, obviously, and then,
Yeah, so for those of you who actually aren't watching he planks Lo, okay? Right. Lo is gone. His girlfriend goes into the cold open ocean, and he is now choosing to stay with Val, who he just met after becoming official.
All that being said, he made the right choice. Lo dodged being with David.
Yes,
so like at the end of the day, it's like,
thank God for Lo. You know what I mean? Lo got out of it. She deserves the world. Just stay away from David. So it was good.
In a lot of ways, Val saved Lo from David, because what probably would have happened is they would have gone home, and then he would have done all this stuff at home. Yeah. When it's like way gnarlier too, because then you're like more living a life together. So, in some ways, it's like this needed to happen for Lo's just life and future. So in that way, it's like, thank God for Lo. But and for a fact that like when he was on that plank, every minute that passed, he realized he couldn't pick Lo, because all that delay was damage done to their relationship too. So other than just what already happened, he knew that if he didn't choose Lo right away, every minute after that was like, how is he going to come back from this?
Yeah, there's no way.
So 40, 50 minutes later, whatever.
But as Lo said later when she comes back for the X party, Lo was like, what you should have done, obviously, is you pick me and then you tell me what happened,
Sure, and then we
end our relationship.
Right, of course.
But just like you stand by, you be a good person.
Right.
You made a terrible decision,
right?
And you did something that was so hurtful, and you need to, first of all, look at Val and apologize to Val, because you put Val in the situation too, where it's like you didn't make it clear to Val that you were in a relationship.
Right.
So you need to apologize to Val. Literally, listen, if David, production would have allowed for this, if David would have been like, hey, can we stop this right now? I think sending anyone over planking wise is going to be a humiliation ritual, and I should get sent over. So can I pull both the women off? I need to apologize to both, and I'm going to send Val home, but let's not dump her into the sea as a humiliation ritual. Let me apologize to her, and then I need to talk to Lo.
Well, there's so many
things though that you could have done that it's been like, hey, I made a crazy terrible decision, and I need to like have the respect for both of these women to have a conversation with them. Anyways, sorry.
I completely agree. But then Leela just lets it rip. I mean, she is a pot stirrer, like you said, and she is definitely not someone to hold her tongue. Like she blows people's secrets. She gossips. She's a classic, another just like
reality TV star,
big personality reality TV person, and she goes after David in a way that you fucking pussy, just screaming. And then she's like, after he cuts Lo, she's like, you should jump in the water too. No one likes you here. No one wants you here. I mean, she was going off into the point where everyone joins the group, and she's still like, she like looks at him and she's like, how does it feel like to be in that like head of yours that's a nightmare from hell? Like, oh my God, dude.
I have to tell you, if I was Lo, I'd feel so good. I'd be like, that girl has my back.
100%.
Thank God Leela's got my back. But I do have to say, and this is kind of where a part of the conversation I wanted to have. So what I did love is that Leela went out of her way, because then Val starts crying, right?
Sure.
Val's like, I'm feeling singled out. Everyone's freaking out at David, and that's including me as well, and like shaming him, and I feel like I'm getting shamed. So she's crying. Leela goes out of her way to pull Val aside and be like, I'm so sorry if you think that this is about you. I think you're stunning, wonderful. I think you deserve better than that guy. This is all about David. David was in a relationship with Lo, and I'm freaking out at him, but you're wonderful. This has nothing to do with you. I just have to say, I found it to be so refreshing and wonderful, because this very rarely happens on reality television, that the community came together and basically made sure that Val did not feel like she was getting slut shamed.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, right.
Like, we don't see that happen on reality TV often. So the fact that everyone came together and was like, hey, we're going to make sure that Val separately knows that this has nothing to do with the fact that we're judging her for how she was. And when they found out that there was like fellatio on the date, it wasn't then all of a sudden like, oh, wow. The fact that it was just like, hey, yeah, you do your thing, and this is not about you. He was the one in a relationship, whatever. I thought that was so refreshing to see, and I was like, yes. I was so happy about that. With that being said, I'm probably going to get heat for this, whatever. There was a part of me that did feel like, though I loved to see that was part of the conversation, because we need that. But at the same time, I do feel like I wanted more justice for Lo.
Yeah.
Because Val didn't know that Lo and David were in a relationship, right? But Val did know what Lo said to her.
Yeah.
And Lo made it clear at least where Lo was at and how Lo felt. And she did know that they were enough, that they were solid enough that the whole crew thought that they were together. So Val did make then the active choice to take it that far
100%.
On the date. And what I really wish would have happened, it's like, though I simultaneously love that Val is being taken care of by the ladies, and they're like, this is about David, not about you. I really wish that Val would have, in the moment when Lo comes back later, that Val would have gone out of her way to speak to Lo and apologize to her. And also understand when Lo then, do I think what Lo said to Val was okay later at the ex situation. Yeah. No, I don't. But Lo even has the generosity and forethought to apologize later at the very end. Like, what a beautiful moment. Like, what an amazing person that she's able to process that. And Val didn't say, hey, just FYI, I'm sorry too. I didn't know you guys were dating. That had to be so painful. If you feel like there was no, I felt like I felt like Val got protected the whole time. And when she was having her tears, that everyone was like crying. But then I felt like Lo wasn't able to have her moment of like, hey, Val still did make the active choice to hear what Lo said and just choose to not, to ignore that and like let Lo be upset. I don't know. That's still, I was feeling that. It was bubbling when I was watching it, where it was like, I was feeling the push and pull of like, the simultaneously love to see this, that people are like not slut shaming, because yes, it's like, you know, of course, especially like if he was single and you want to have fellatio day one, action, shout it's about out
the circumstances.
But and then again, she didn't know that they were dating, but she did know enough from Lo to have respect for Lo to like either have a conversation about it, to not take it that far, knowing that where Lo was at, or if you do take it that far, then to have a conversation with Lo and understand that, you know, just like how you're crying, feeling singled out, like this is now just all about Lo and David. It's like, well, yeah, because that was his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Val, you need to have a conversation with Lo and like understand her perspective. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was feeling really impassioned.
No, I mean,
part.
I completely agree. It's interesting. I mean, even going forward when they are like talking and everything, you could tell that there's a lot of that same reassurance that Lo's kind of was telling herself, almost like this. I know that this is happening. I know this is happening, but I think we have something special here. It's like,
oh, you mean with Val?
With Val and David, even relating to the Lo.
So well, because that's the thing. Val really wanted to get to know David, and Val really liked David, and so this whole thing was hurtful to her. When then the conversation was always about David and Lo,
right?
But at the same time, I feel like understand why it's that way. It's because
the foundation.
Lo was officially his girlfriend.
Yeah, the foundation is rocky.
So you have to understand, like you have to come at it from Lo's perspective. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I don't know. I had extreme feelings because, like I said, it was just that like, oh my gosh, yes, like the community seeing that on reality TV is so wonderful. But then at the same time, I'm like, Val, like, come on, we have to understand like choices that were made. That you made, and like let Lo like feel that. Yeah. That's like come on. Anywho. But yes, it's explosive. It's explosive afterwards. And you know, but we see like Karai comes and talks to David, and he like Karai's awesome.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Karai like is letting Leela. Karai's not trying to quiet Leela down.
Sure.
He's letting Leela have all of her big feelings and emotions, and then he separately pulls David aside and is like, hey, I want to be there for you, but like also I'm gonna like speak truth to you and be like, what you did was fucked up.
Yeah.
I'll be here for you so that you're not alone, but I'm also gonna let you know that was really shitty. I'm like, shout out Karai.
Yeah,
he seems like a good guy. To the end, he seemed like a really good guy.
He seemed like a really sweet guy who was, but then he also, even to the point where he was trying to kind of like see both sides, and he was trying to be open to like all things and be like, all right, David, let's talk about this. Like, you fucked up, but like, what's going on in your head? Like, you know, he wasn't just coming in, and he wasn't coming in on either side and being like, this is how it should be, or this is how it shouldn't be. He was kind of just like, all right, what am I missing here?
Yeah. But then I love to see too, the fact that he like wasn't trying to, even though David is his friend, he wasn't trying to be like, Leela, you're coming to, like he let
wasn't
Leela
holding back. He was being very
as his
balanced.
Partner in this. He was letting Leela fully be Leela.
Yeah.
I love that they took their time together. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I like really Karai's like shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out. You know, I feel like he seemed like a really, really good guy. Well, later that night, you know, officially Christine and Jake start making out, and Andrew writes her off.
Yes.
And Val and David, they are now together. They're in bed. I was laughing so hard when Val was like, I'm so horny. And Gabby comes on voiceover and she goes, you and me both, Val. can I say that?
Yeah.
Like, that's just so funny. It's like,
So
what was
funny.
that? Like, she just
She's
randomly popping in and being
unbelievable.
like, I'm horny too. It's so funny.
It was very funny.
It was so funny to me. Well, the next day, I mean, we start out and it is like the entire yacht has turned on David. It is dead silence when David walks in and tries to have brunch. And, you know, shout out, they're not.
Leela said something like, I bet you worked up an appetite last night. Aren't you not hungry? And then like he left and the Delaney's like, that's one way to clear a table.
But, you know, shout out them this whole time too. They're not excluding Val.
No.
Right? They don't make Val pay like they're making David pay because they're recognizing it's like David was the one in the relationship who screwed over Lo.
Yeah.
So they welcome Val in. They treat Val in a very lovely way, which I loved to see. But yeah, I mean, David's just literally laying there in his robe, like on a lawn chair, being like, what have I done? And all the decisions hit him, even to the point where like producers are checking in.
They're like, you
and
good,
like,
bro?
Hey, do you need a hug? Do you need to talk through this? You know, we're going to make sure you're doing okay.
We need you to still be okay to be on the show. So what do you need?
Yep, please don't leave.
Don't ruin this for us.
We're going to act like we care, but
we
just
don't care about you as a person. We just want to make sure this production gets messed up because of your like whatever mental problems are going down. So you figure this out so you can get back on the ship and get to work.
But we continue to see this morning, you know, Val's conversations with the girls.
Yeah.
We see that David then has a conversation with Tim, which is a conversation where Tim's like, hey, this is how I feel. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you something about Tim. Okay.
It's tough for me.
I know. I really
Tim?
came hard last episode where I was just like, I know we're going to find out all this stuff about Tim. We were also convinced, by the way, that he was going to fall for another woman and leave Gia, which absolutely didn't happen. Mm-hmm. They seem really locked in. Tim, I'm having a really hard time because Evan.
I'm
having a really hard time reading Tim because what I'm watching on my screen is like a lovely guy. Totally. A guy who every once in a while makes some mistakes and then he recognizes them and steps back. A guy who seems to really care for his partner. A guy who seems to be really respected and who's checking in on David, but also not letting David get away with this, that, and, you know, just a good friend. Yeah. And it seems like a good partner. But I think I'm so traumatized by all men on reality TV. I'm just like, if you seem too good to be true, you are too good to be true, because there's still this energy in the back of my head where he came on the show being like, I'm a fuckboy. So I'm like, what happens? Does someone just completely change?
The righteous anger felt a little disingenuous. Okay. Especially against the backdrop of all the other guys, where you have like Karai being like, hey, you fucked up, man, but you're my friend, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
You have James being like, hey, man, like, the guy went with his heart. The guy, you know, James is not tracking with everything. He's just kind of like, but he had kind of like a, you know, the guy went with his heart and that's what I did. And, you know, you can't fault the guy for, like, he's not tracking, but he's kind of being honest about how he feels, even if it's controversial. Karai, he's kind of like trying to figure it out. You got multiple people kind of like being honest in a way that could like backfiring against you in some ways, versus Tim the whole time was just like, I can't believe how devastated I am. And I'm kind of like, bro, your girl's devastated because one of her besties is gone. Are you really devastated, or are you kind of performing for your girlfriend so that she's like, wow, it just reeked of that to me. Good guy, but it just reeked of like, maybe you're a little bummed.
What it hit me was,
but it's like
what it hit me more wasn't like that he was doing it for Gia. It was more like there all of a sudden was a mirror of it was like, is this what it looked like when I went for Gia, even though she was with Bo? Am I going to get painted as a villain? Like David's going to get painted as a villain. So I better make sure that for the camera, I'm like super against what David did and then like take the right side of history. It could have been multiple things. I don't know. David,
but it's just his like,
or sorry, not David, Tim. Yeah. Tim's a curiosity for me.
In his head. I was just kind of like, no, something's up with this reaction.
Tim's a curiosity for me because part of me is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I was last week saying like, I bet we're going to find out stuff, because he does seem like such a lovely guy. But I just feel, I just can't
Their friends stayed. So even that, it's like Lo left. All her friends are devastated.
Yeah.
The actions were bad. The guys were a little more chill because their friends stayed, but they didn't like what he did. So it was like, hey, let's talk. Let's figure this out. But Tim acted like it just didn't match the energy. It was very weird. I couldn't read it. I felt a little, I couldn't believe this guy as well.
But I'm just saying Tim in general, I just feel.
I agree. There's something going on.
I also don't want to say it because he could just be just a lovely guy who used to be a fuckboy whose ways have changed. Okay. But then I also feel unsteady because I've also never seen that before. Because every reality TV guy, whoever has said I'm a fuckboy, continues to prove it correct. He continues to be a fuckboy.
Real quick, remember later when he's talking to ITMs, talking to the friend. The friend goes, "Why did you want to come on this show?" Or the brother, Gia's brother.
Gia's twin, yeah.
Gia's twin. Why'd you want to come on the show? And he goes, "Well, I just thought like chicks on a boat would be fun." And I'm like, okay, so that was 5 minutes ago. That was your mentality.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So 5 days ago, he was like, chicks on a boat, sign me up.
I mean, granted, he was single, so I guess it's like,
but I'm just saying,
meet somebody. Yeah, but he wasn't like, I'm looking for somebody. He wasn't like,
I'm looking for my wife.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm also like, I don't know if I buy it with the old T-Dog.
Yeah, I don't know either. Prove us wrong, Tim. Yeah. Because I really did like you on the show. But yeah. Anywho, okay. Let's keep chatting, but first we need to take one more quick pause, family. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Okay, so when we watched the final episode of Love Overboard and saw the final couple win the money, I was like, hey, want to share some of your riches?
Yeah, we reached out.
Want to share? Yeah, I feel like this is something we don't talk about enough, but financial stress is so real, especially right now. And not just in a numbers on a screen way, it actually affects how you feel day to day. I've definitely had moments where I'm just like lying in bed at night and staring at the ceiling and doing the mental math, like going over expenses, thinking about the future, trying to plan everything out. And suddenly my brain is like fully awake and spiraling and panicking. And it's not even always something that's like wrong. It's just the constant pressure of trying to get everything right. And now just getting older, work and savings. And yeah, I think a lot of us grew up with certain beliefs around money, like you're supposed to just figure it out on your own, or that struggling with it somehow means you're failing. And I'm here to tell you that that's false and you are not alone. And it's important to emotionally support yourself through this. That's the part people don't always realize. Financial stress doesn't just affect your bank account. It can impact your mental health, your sleep, and even your relationships. And here's the thing. Therapy isn't about getting financial advice. It's about having a space to process the stress, the anxiety, or even the shame that can come with it. It can help you understand your relationship with money and build healthier ways to cope with it. And if you're looking into therapy, give BetterHelp a try.
BetterHelp connects you with licensed therapists who work according to a strict code of conduct, and they've helped over 6 million people worldwide. They also make it really easy to get started. You fill out a short questionnaire. They match you with a therapist based on your needs and preferences. And if you ever feel like it's not the right fit, you can switch out anytime. And with more than 30,000 therapists and an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 based on over 1.7 million client reviews, it's clear a lot of people are finding support that really helps.
And I think just even hearing that so many people are navigating this and getting support makes it feel just a little less heavy and less alone, because struggling with money stress doesn't mean that you failed. Sometimes it just means that you're dealing with something hard and you don't have to carry it alone. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/momdad. That's betterhelp.com/momdad. betterhelp.com/momdad. Okay, so at the end of episode 6, the couples are David and Val, Tim and Gia, Leela and Karai, and Keith and Delaney. And we find out that now going into episode 7, that they get to have a beach party. They're like, no worries, no challenge right now. We're going to have a beach party, but surprise, surprise, actually all of your exes are showing up.
Which obviously really all that matters in this case is the Lo showing back up, which is crazy because generally it's like you get a week with with your person and then they but the fact that it's
24 hours.
It's the next afternoon you're hanging out with the person that everything went down was so crazy.
24 hours is so wild because it's literally like this man has just been laying around in his robe, just like having
spiraling.
Just a spiral fest about realizing that all of his clients are going to see him on television.
It's also not enough time for Lo to kind of like gather your thoughts. You're just kind of thrown right back into it too. So it's just like, oh my gosh, traumatizing for her to be like, now confront it again.
I know, this poor woman, it's like you just like put her through hell, made her jump off into like the frozen ocean.
And then they make her do it again a day later. It's like,
God, it's like, come on, you guys. This is wild. Basically, the exiles have a mission. Yeah. They get to try to tempt their way back onto the boat by breaking up a couple or connect with a single, or if they make a connection with another exile, they can try to get back on board. Yes. So going through the exes, we have Bo that he ends up having a conversation with Gia, and he's just very lovely. Like he's just is like, didn't love what she was saying, and she was chatting about it for a while, but like what he actually said to her was he was like, hey, I can't be mad for you about it. Like your feelings are your feelings. You can tell that he was hurt because even during the vote at the end, he was like not vibing on the Tim and Gia situation.
I agree.
He was hurt, which I understand.
100%. It just sucks. It just sucks.
They seemed like they were locked in.
Yeah, it really did.
Then we have Prasad. He's just trying to hit on anybody. Prasad,
he's like just somebody. He's kind of got shark eyes. You know what I mean? He kind of sits there and just kind of, you don't really know what he's thinking.
Like vacant.
He's just kind of like sits there and he just says words. And then he just hits on people, and when they reject him, he moves on to the next person. Like, it's very funny to watch him kind of move.
When he's just trying to hit on Layla, she was making me laugh so hard. She was like, oh, God.
And then hits on Delaney again. It's like, dude, I just dumped you like 48 hours ago. Like, he's like, all right, well, you never know.
He's like, so you're saying you don't think you and I aren't going to work? Which in the end, honestly, Delaney probably should have
gone with Prasad. They live the same life. They're both models. Yeah. It's like,
And Keith. Ugh.
Oh, talk about it. I mean, talk about a turn for like the worst ever. Not even a turn, I guess. We just really found out.
You know
about
what? It was in the back of our minds.
We
the
all
whole time.
felt it.
We saw that chin strap of hair, and
we all knew the work history, and we were all kind of like. And then we're all like, Delaney's like this cool artist model. We're like, something's weird. Like something's not going to work.
But I just felt like Delaney, I was like, Delaney must be feeling something we're not. So maybe he just is like actually a really chill guy. And then we find out
the vibe was like, because and everyone was saying there seems to be no sexual chemistry there either, especially on Delaney's end. So it almost seemed like Delaney really was just trying to kind of try something new that was like, whatever. But that's not the breakout moment of this.
Not the breakout. But then we had Reese is back, and we find out that he had a connection with Sophia, and he told her to call him when he was dumped as he was flying into the water. And then we see Sophia. Yeah. Now, brutal. Sophia, oh my God.
I was like, did I miss something?
I'm like, did I
miss? I honestly, like, in my brain was like going to ask you, because I was like, did I miss something?
I feel like we maybe did.
Gnarlier than Lo is coming out David almost. Like, it was just like,
way more
she's
intense.
just like, you're just a fucking loser. No one's ever attracted you. This entire boat thinks you're hideous and I hate them. I'm like, what did I miss? I'm like looking through my notes. Like, I'm like, was there a blowout I didn't catch?
Listen,
why was she so mean to him?
Maybe, again, maybe we're missing something and something happened where he did.
She is kind of gnarly like that.
But I'm just saying maybe he did something that really made her upset or uncomfortable. So I don't want to, assume that I know that but it was like, it was
a difference between being mean and being like, horrible to someone. I think like no one will ever love you type shit. It was just like,
I think it was maybe, and again, unless something happened, which I don't want to assume that I know, it felt like a Bachelor in Paradise like a bachelorette reunion moment. When they have the reunion and someone who wasn't in it for very long talks a lot because they're hoping to get on Bachelor in Paradise. Sophia was giving me like, I'm going to go really hard at him because I want to have my shining moment as a reality TV star. Like that's what it hit me a little bit as.
Because she also was the one who was like the only one playing an open game, being like, I'm going to like fake that I like him. And like, so she is very like reality TV minded.
Now, she's reality TV minded, and I don't mean to say this in a mean way, but like, you know, some people can just pull it off better, and some people are reality TV stars. And with Sophia, it just was a little clunky.
You know what it is?
It wasn't like, you know, like some of these other people who, again, however you feel about them, are like stars who can pull it off in a seamless way that just doesn't feel as like.
It felt, it didn't feel like I feel like there's two types that really work well. Mm-hmm. It's the people who are really likable, right? Mm-hmm. And then the people who like, you feel a lot of like, oh my God, get them, right? They kind of accomplish.
They elicit a lot of emotional response.
She's not particularly very likable. So there's kind of this energy where you just get like, ooh, like it's kind of cringe and kind of hurtful. And you're kind of like, it was worse than somehow like villain vibes. And it just, you know, like you said, clunky. It felt awkward.
Well, and especially then too, since like Enna has become such a beloved part of this.
Right.
And what she did was super like rude to Enna, and like she was her friend. And then she then turned her back on Enna and like never like apologizes to Enna. That you're like, hey, if Sophia would have had a moment where she goes and apologizes to Enna during this party and then tries to get back on board, there'd be more of like a thing where you'd have a feeling, but
yeah, and she didn't have like a personality that was like crazy and funny either. It was just this didn't work. It was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, swing and a miss. Well, but Reese and Sophia decide that they're just going to get on the boat and win. So they're going to couple up together as two exes, and they're going to get on the boat and win. And then of course we have we have Lo, which is the biggest part of this. And David is literally sweating, like beads of sweat are coming out of
he's like, she's going to show up. She's going to show up.
He's absolutely spiraling. And favorite moment is when Lo walks in and Sade immediately whispers in her ear, she gave him head in the bathroom.
Yeah,
it's
a classic Housewives.
I'm like, there's a reality TV star.
You know what you need is a little jet fuel on this issue.
It's like, listen, Sophia, watch Sade and watch how she moves. You love Sade. Sade's a friend to so many of the people there. She's so charismatic, but then she'll go in there and she'll throw in like she gave him in the bathroom. I mean, it's everything.
Sade's like classic. Remember when Bella was crying and being like, I don't know, I'll find a connection, whatever. Sade goes, yeah, I'm feeling really boat sick right now.
I know, it's amazing.
Just like in the middle of her bawling. Some people are built for this.
Yeah, she's a star.
It's just different.
She's a star.
You can't teach that.
She's a star. So now Lo knows. Lo knew something happened because obviously David was like, hey, I don't want to tell you, but you're going to be mad. But Lo did not think that it was that extreme. Yeah. And so, of course, Lo is having valid feelings. And so she's saying them regarding Val, and the women are like, but remember, it's David, it's not Val. Which I love to see the women standing by, you know, like, again, trying to like support, but then also let Lo have her feelings in this, right? And then she goes to Val and she's like, you know, you're low class because you suck dick on the first date, which obviously we know is not true. And that is not the case. That is not true. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was the right thing for Lo to say. That was a hurtful thing to say. But I loved, like I said, the fact that Lo came back later. And that even in the midst of all of this pain and feeling just like this, just ripping your heart out, humiliation on TV energy, that she thought about Val and came back at the very end and made an apology to Val. It just shows you what type of person Lo is. And she made a mistake, I think, by saying that for sure. But it just shows you what type of person Lo is. But I also think then there needs to be understanding of like how she's feling in this moment. And this all just happened 24 hours ago. And she's like, but I told Val, you know, but again, it's like David. Right. But she has then this conversation with David, and she was just like, so were there concerns that you had before this that you weren't telling me? And he was like, it was just your jealousy. Really? And it's like, hey, David, you mean the fact that we had to listen to you for fucking hours talk about the fact that you don't think that you guys have a sexual connection? Right. And she knows. She's like, I don't think that that's all that it is. She's like, what about you tell me what happened on the date between you and Val? And this man has the audacity to say, I think that that's something that needs to be kept private for the sake of Val, which, hey, you know what? I agree. We don't want to have conversations without someone's consent about something like that. But you had no problem, David, on camera talking about your and Lo's sexual escapades without her consent over and over and over again. So stop with this bullshit of like, I'm not going to say it because Val, it's disrespectful. It's like, you fucking been talking about Lo left, right, and center. Yeah. It's because you don't want to have the moment of saying it. I mean, this guy. It's the good
guy syndrome. It's like that fake good guy shit.
Oh yeah. The acting like he is morally above everyone still, and that's really what got me through these remaining episodes. When he was having his breakdown in his robe on the lawn chair, I was like, are we gonna see a shift in David? Are we gonna see a David who really becomes repentant, apologetic, and is like, wow, what I did, because sometimes you hit rock bottom and then you realize, right? And I was like, maybe this is David's rock bottom and he's going to realize and he's going to have a reformation. No this way. Man in these final episodes somehow he hit rock bottom, and then he became more morally superior to everyone and being like, well, you're this way and you're this way.
He wasn't going to like win them over. Then he kind of gave up the act.
Yeah. Totally.
That's kind of what happened. It was like, I had the act on to kind of still win everyone back. And then once he realized he wasn't, he's like, I'm done with the act. I'm just going to be myself.
Well, he literally ends this conversation with Lo without even ever telling her what happens. He doesn't know that she knows at this point, but he just refuses to tell her. But that's when Gabby comes back, and the only people that are going to be heading back to the boat are Sophia and Reese. And we hear that they have to win their way back on. We never see really what happens. They had kind of a game that they didn't end up showing us that was like a know about your partner, but their relationship, nobody buys it.
No one bought it. It was
everyone was kind of like not into it. They were over it. I just couldn't believe that if I was one of the exes, there's no way that I wouldn't have partnered up with one of the singles.
I know.
Even if I'm not interested, I would have been like, hey, do you want to just partner up? So that like, are you down to partner up with me so I can get back on the boat? And you know, I don't know. Like we're all friends now. So like, what about we just partner up? I don't know.
I don't know what that was.
You'll have extra hands for me, and I'll be at the downside, and I'll help.
You get to hang out on the boat a little bit more, have fun. And possibly, you never know what can happen. You
never know if another shipwrecker shows up for you or me. I mean, I don't know. It was strange to me.
Very strange.
Anyway, so Lo, Bo, and Prasad leave. Then we have a game.
Yeah.
A spin the bottle game that then the drama from spin the bottle moves into happy hour. Yeah. So this spin the bottle game has a twist. They spin the bottle, but instead of kisses, you and that person have to answer these personal questions. And there are a few moments that ended up being dramatic. One is with James and Lexi. So Enna and Christine, they have to share their favorite sexual positions. And James right away is like, I think you two should reenact that.
It was like, I don't know how to, I don't want to say harmless, but it was very funny to watch it go down, because you could see it was almost like he was saying the words, and then he was just smiling. And it was just kind of like, oh, there's the kind of like 20-year-old frat boy that like, I feel like we saw on the first episode when the guy goes, I'm horny. It's almost like he found this love that him and Lexi seem to be truly connected in a beautiful way. But it's almost like, oh, there he is. And it's just like, oh, that'd be hot if you guys made out right now. And you're just kind of like, and he's like, it wasn't even like he said it and then kind of like realized. It was like right? Everybody, right? And then Lexi's like, you idiot. And he's like, oh, dude. Like, well,
but he kept doing it.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. It's like he didn't, it's just like,
and then what happened then with Tim and Gia is that Tim had to show his favorite sexual position, and he like grabbed Leela and like pulled her hair, held her throat, took it too far. And what both Lexi and Gia were saying, and it's so funny because it's so real in men and women's relationships, I would say specifically, is that so often you see guys
doing dumb shit
to try to get a laugh from the boys, and then they end up hurting their girlfriends in the process. Because again, if the tables were turned and all of a sudden, one of the women was like, yeah, boys, I'd love to watch you fuck. James or Tim would have their feelings hurt like
guys
crazy.
Are idiots.
So
we're idiots.
It's like, dude, what are you doing? So I love that I did like that they showed that. And then they showed Lexi and Gia having conversations with their boyfriends, essentially.
It was super real.
It was super real
I mean?
because it was like, we've all felt that. I can't tell you how many times, especially when you and I were like in our younger in our relationship,
and
when we were like in our early 20s, where you'd say something where I'd be like, what the fuck, that hurt my feelings. And then you're like, oh, I was just trying to get a laugh. And I'm like, oh my God, but it just, it
that was
felt
like
really real.
Super realistic.
It felt really real. Yeah. And you know what? Shout out to James, because James really took it in stride.
He literally was devastated.
He was devastated.
And it was so funny too, because he's like, when she told him, he was kind of playing it off. But then the second she walked away, he was like, I can't believe what an idiot I am. And he runs to her and he's like crying. Listen.
He really owned.
No one surprised us more than James. James came in, I'm horny. Like, we all knew this guy's going to be a nightmare. He's going to cheat 5 times. He is the most reliable.
Yeah.
The most locked in. The most in love.
Yeah.
The most swept away. And the most I will do whatever it takes to keep my girl on the entire boat by a mile. Talk about the shock of a lifetime.
When she said that, and he was like, and it really, he was no, and he sat with it, and he was like, that was so selfish of me. No, and he recognized how selfish his actions were.
He does these things too, where he says things, and you're like, whoa, that's kind of elevated. Like, he didn't say, I'm an idiot. He said, that was selfish. Like, that's an elevated way to look at that. And then when he went to
Lexi, the way he apologized, where he was like, I just need to, he full ownership. Zero excuse. And then Lexi being like, I'm not trying to change you, James. I love you. I was like, why are you guys?
Why are you guys the best couple on the boat?
Why are they so mature?
On the first episode, we thought for 1 second, this is a nightmare.
I mean,
I unbelievable. I love them.
I love them too. I love them. I think they're adorable. I think they're absolutely adorable. But and Tim also handled it well. He handled it well. He didn't get defensive. He didn't throw it back at her. He let her, because she took it overnight, right? Where she was needing to process. She wasn't she needed to feel it. I related to Gia in that way. Yes. I'm an overnighter. Yes. I need to sit and I don't bounce back. And he didn't. And he didn't
try in the middle of the night to be like, hey, are you good? She's like, I don't just bounce back that fast. He's like, okay, got it.
And that's how I am. So I have to sit in it.
Marinate.
And he didn't try to push her. No, he let her, and he didn't then start making excuses and
I
panic.
do that every time. And that's something that they learned probably from me, was that I never make excuses and I never push.
Evan loves to make sure that
I love to do what they did.
Evan loves to make sure you're just an argument clear. You don't like when there's anything hanging in the air, so you panic when there's something in the air.
It sucks so bad, and I'm an idiot sometimes, and I don't let it.
No, but I get it too. I don't like it either, but sometimes you just have to. But it was
they did a good job.
They did a good job.
For being idiots, they did a good job.
Except the one moment that killed me is then when Lexi was like, yeah, by the way, I got back at you by making out with Gia in the confessional. And then James goes, because James goes,
he's like, should I be pissed about that?
Well, then James he's like, that doesn't bother me, and that's kind of hot, but we're talking, but he goes, but we're talking about something serious right now. Yeah,
she was trying to diffuse.
Yeah, and he goes, but we're talking about something serious. He's like, can we go back to the serious part?
She was trying to diffuse.
Yeah, by being like, hey, we made out to get back at you. Off. Not what I expected.
Not what I expected at
all. So then we find out the next day that anyone who's not in a couple is going to be sent off of the boat. So they have to do a quick final coupling. They get 20 minutes to find their final couple and meet Gabby topside. And the couples who end up topside are Tim and Gia, Keith and Delaney, David and Val, Karai and Leela, Reese and Sophia, Christine and Jake, Lexi and James, Enna and Andrew.
Yeah.
they end up, they're the best friends. I just want the respect for Enna, okay? Yeah. Just him and the ITMs being like, man, if she looked different. I'm like, shut the fuck up, Andrew, okay? Can you be grateful that a woman like
Enna was the biggest mystery to me.
Yeah.
How it didn't work out for her.
I know, she's fantastic.
Because she's pretty stunning.
She's gorgeous.
Right? And really cool.
I know.
So
and
it was just
chilling in the downside.
It was just kind of weird how that whole thing Like a lot of the single people I can kind of see like, okay, they're polarizing. You know what I mean? They're kind of a lot in some ways, or they're kind of interesting or whatever, or they get in fights or whatever. But Anna just seemed like super cool.
I know.
And I was kind of never really, it made sense why she never really found anybody.
And then finally Sade and Bradley coupled up together as a friend to couple up. And they find out that there's going to be only room for 5 couples in the top side, and there's going to be no more downside. So everyone is going to vote, and the top 5 couples are going to stay and everyone else is going to leave. This is then where episode 8 begins. And that's when Sade pops in and she goes, hey, you guys, before you start talking, I'm out. I'm ready to go. Like
her and Bella were like, "There's no world you're throwing me overboard."
Sade's like, "You are not tossing me into the ocean, so that's going to be a pass." And we will miss you, our reality TV queen. We will see you elsewhere.
Something else.
Another, please, Love Island.
Pick up Bella and Sade because they
please
both
pick up Bella and Sade. Like, please, somebody. But Bradley doesn't leave until he gets tossed off later because he just wants to hang on for every last.
The biggest flop that stayed the longest.
For every last
Had a great entrance, very funny, and then just nothing ever since then.
Now, I will tell you this. This is when people start, kind of pleading their case and making their case. Right. I did find it interesting that almost every single couple basically said, so we should stay because the rest of you aren't real and you guys suck. Instead of being like hey
the
guys,
why we're real.
No, like we love you. Instead of like being like, hey, vote for us. We love you all so much and we've loved getting to know all of you and we care about each other and we hope you guys will believe us. They were all just like, we are better than the rest of you guys, so we should stay. And I'm like, this is not how you get people to vote for you. Suck up to everybody.
Both the like air your grievance thing and the like fighting for your couple to be the one were like bizarrely adversarial for people seeming to be all friends.
No, I
know the other one is for that, but it was funny to watch people go at each other because I'm like, you guys are like all homies, and everyone's like, the reason why we should continue on is because you're my friend, but you're an idiot and you guys aren't real. And it was just kind of like, jeez, you guys. Like, it's almost like they were kind of like told, like, hey, mix it up.
But I'm like, you get someone to vote for you if you like kiss their ass a little bit. They vote for
you if you act nice.
Yeah. Act like you were like, we wish that we were voters. We wish we were like you guys.
I feel like a politician coming on and be like, you guys are all idiots. If you don't vote for me, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
I'm going to run on that. So they end up having then a big plank ceremony. Gabby's looking gorgeous. Dude, Gabby's fits in this have been
very
fire.
Cool
they are cool. They're I mean,
they have like, she has style.
She's got great style. Yes. But oh man, God, I love her. Okay, so the couples that are going home, they end up getting booted are Reese and Sophia. Andrew and Enna. Shout out to you, Enna. And Andrew, you are a reality TV star, whether we like it or not.
They put up a good fight, too.
They really did.
I loved her angle. She was like, not all relationships are romantic. This is also a relationship. A deep friendship. We're going to be traveling the world together. Like, she really sold it to where I was kind of like, it's not a bad idea. It's like, you're kind of making some sense.
They get rid of Karai and Leela, dude.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
I was pissed. I was like, so the top couples are Tim and Gia, obviously. They also only live 5 minutes away from each other, which we didn't know. Lexi and James, obviously. Yeah. Delaney and Keith, everyone's noted that there's only like friend vibes between them. Yeah. Christine and Jake are brand new and no one quite knows them together. And then David and Val, who it's like, okay, you just had this huge thing where everyone's like,
to me.
I feel like it has to have been
when
production,
they got rid of Leela and Karai and then kept, I'm like, well, they have to. I mean, that's production 100. I'm not gonna get rid of the number one story. There's no way.
But just keep like Karai and Leela and get rid of like Delaney and Keith or Christine and Jake.
Right.
We don't even really know Christine and Jake, so like my heart wasn't there with them as much.
That was a weird choice
it would have been with Karai and Leela. And I would like
was a vote, unless that was a true vote where it was like Leela had kind of created enough like chaos that
how dare everyone.
No, but I'm just saying to where they were like, oh, these other couples
she helped built this boat.
Like Delaney and Keith, like no one cares. Yeah. And so they're chill.
Yeah.
Versus Leela had gotten into enough fights and created enough drama where enough people could have been like, you know what, just get out of here.
Well, I'm here to report that unless something has changed recently, Karai and Leela are still together as of April something. Impressive. They're still together. So congratulations to them. And I think Leela is an absolute reality TV star. And I think Karai seems like a wonderful guy, like 100%. A really wonderful guy.
Well, good for them.
So they now are the top 5 couples are all gonna get solo time, aka they get to go to the land in Malta, and they're gonna have a private hotel room, and they have kind of like a bachelorette style day together. And a couple moments to discuss. Number 1, Delaney and Keith.
That's the big story to me in regards to like eye opening.
This is where,
because wait, was the friend drop in / sibling drop in, whatever, on the same day as
in the evening
as the date day.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So you kind of got the same message.
But earlier in the day, they're on a boat together.
Yeah.
And they're having a conversation where she was like, I love working.
Right.
It helps me, like it provides me a sense of who I am. And he's like, well, I'm a traditional guy.
Right.
And I want to do my role as a man, and I want you to do your role as a woman. And I almost fell out of my chair. And then Gabby comes into the ITMs and she goes, well, that was quite an open and progressive conversation.
You could tell that like he thought she was going to dig that. Because almost like,
hey, listen, if you want to live a traditional, if you want to live a traditional, like a whatever, that's everyone can do whatever they want to do. But it was the way he said it, Evan. It was the way he said, I have my role as the man and you should have your role as the woman. And that was when I was like, I gotta go, guys.
To me, not shocking. He feels that way. Like, I mean, he was giving, like, the more that he talked, the more I was like, okay, here we're in it now. Like, this guy is a classic, that guy.
Yeah. Blonde chin strap beard.
Yeah, and then even later when it's like, and just, remember when was it Delaney's friend that was like, like, what about your lifestyle? What about all this? And he's like, well, you got to know that as a cop, you also represent me, and like your conduct. I was like, okay, yeah, this is shitty. This is weird. And it really just mystified me what Delaney, I was like, Delaney, what are you doing with him? Like, it was a weird, even the friend was like,
what's happening?
Like, what is, so there had to be some response to like a couple boyfriends she had who were the opposite of him, and it hasn't worked out. And she's like, I gotta scrap the whole playbook. Let's go the opposite direction. Because even you could see in her being like, okay, so everything you stand for seems to be the opposite of what I'm into. But she still wasn't like crazy. Like, she wasn't like mean about it. She was really understanding. She even said, I understand people and I just need to be understood. So I don't know. I couldn't believe she lasted I couldn't believe that she kept entertaining it. I feel like after that,
I know. I was like, Delaney, get out, dude. Like, get out and just go be free. He is not the vibe. He is not the vibe. And I was like,
no sense of humor, not charming,
no,
controlling, kind of like weirdly, like just out of touch. Like, it was just.
And then later, when Delaney's friend came too, she was like, "What do you like about her?" And he's like, "She's beautiful. She's not funny though."
Yeah, he was trying to be funny. It wasn't working. And he goes, "She's beautiful." But he said she's beautiful twice. And then when she goes, so how do you feel about this? And he goes, we'll discuss that later. And then he's like, I don't like a friend asking questions. It was okay, you're shitty, dude.
That was like, when the friend was like,
the friend's like, so tell me kind of how you feel about the fact that her friend, she's a model.
The friend is brought in to ask the tough questions. And so when she asks it and he goes, we'll discuss that later.
That's not for
it's
you.
Like,
he's like, I don't like a friend asking all these questions, causing up a stir.
Big guy.
No, he was giving insecure tough guy.
And then by the way, he goes back into the hotel room and he starts line dancing again.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is your,
we
got a one trick pony.
You
just did like just dancing it again.
This guy's a one trick
dancing again. We have Jake and Christine. When they have their conversation, we find out, bless her sweet heart, that she's like really gotten screwed over a bunch. She's been cheated on a ton. She is just like a love bug, a little marshmallow heart, like sweet sweetie pie.
Who's hot for young Jake.
Sure, hot for young Jake. And
she's like, but have you seen him with his shirt off? And the friend's like, cool. But do you like him?
But do you like the guy? And he then in ITMs, and he was just like, I want to help take away those fears that she's having. And the producer goes, what fears do you mean? And he's like, I don't remember what she said. Insane. He's
so young.
But in the hotel room, he tells her that he's in love with her. And she says that she's in love with him too. Okay.
I mean, are they still together? Did you look it up? Hell yeah.
You guys, I'm here to fucking report that at least recently, Jake and Christine are still together.
Yes,
we'll talk more about them because they don't leave yet. But Jake and Christine are still together.
Get it, you know, two peas in a pod.
So you know what? I guess he hasn't done her dirty. So.
He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I was getting dumb frat guy, fun energy guy, but I wasn't getting like. He seemed genuine, so maybe you never know.
Well, we also have Tim and Gia, and they have theirs, and then when we have the surprise guest, it's Gia's twin, like you said. Her twin brother was like, he was like coming for like some questions, and Tim
smart questions.
Yeah.
Savvy person. Definitely knew Gia well enough to kind of know like her blind spots. Like he was, but Tim was sweating a little bit, but he handled it. He handled it. And then of course we have Lexi and James, and Lexi's bestie. Was I loved Lexi's bestie, and she was asking some of the tough questions too. But the way that James was responding, he was knocking it out of the park. And Lexi's bestie is like, I think like he loves you. And she even ratted about the horny thing too. And she's like, oh, okay. And he still won her over. I mean, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And then he's just like, I can't wait to make more memories with you. And she goes, well, we'll see.
Down. But it was like so sweet of him to even say that.
It was sweet. They tell each other that they love each other. Yeah. Tim and Gia, they tell each other that they love each other. So it's like, I mean, these people are saying it left, right, and center. But something to consider, by the way, is these people have been spending 24/7 together for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They are spending way more time together than anyone on The Bachelor ever does.
Yeah, it's true. You're
The Bachelor,
in constant.
You get
The Bachelor, not even close.
But that's what I'm saying. On The Bachelor, you get maybe 4 hours when they propose
before you're proposing.
Well, that's not true because they have been a night.
But whatever.
They've had way more. Hours. They've had way more time together. So everyone's saying that they're in love.
You have way. I mean, let's think 3 weeks.
Yeah.
With someone,
and you're together all the time,
24/7, sleeping in the same bed. Boat. You could totally fall in love.
Totally.
Not even questionable. Mm-hmm. Not even questionable.
So they're out here saying they love each other, but it's like they spend a decent amount of time together. And then of course we have Val's bestie who shows up, and that's when we get some info. And Val literally is like, hey, my bestie is here, which is good because I need to figure out. I have a hard time. That's when we hear too, where Val's like, I have a hard time asking some of these questions, and I'm glad that my bestie's here to ask those questions. And David, he says the other person didn't know I wanted to pick Val. So when they're talking about the plank situation, he says the other person didn't know I wanted to pick Val, so I gave them time so they knew my head turned. David's reason, he says, for the 45-minute wait is so that Lo had time to adjust to it. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, do not disrespect. No, you're making it worse. Cold, you're making it worse by acting like, I'm just giving her time to adjust. Move. Oh my gosh. Then we find out that he cheated in this past relationships and that he had done it for spiteful reasons. But the bestie still gives her stamp of approval and is like, I'm only just...
Val's like, I don't know, was this the moment where Val's like, but I also cheated, so
no,
we're tied.
That was later.
I was like, you know what? Valid.
Honest.
I was like, at least you guys are on the same page.
What?
Although I did love Val, because Val's like, I am the most loyal person. And I value loyalty more than anything. Yes, I did cheat in my last relationship, but I value loyalty.
And I am going to go with the guy who hasn't and he's been cheating.
So it's like, how about we just be honest, guys?
Let's just be real about it.
Well, you know what you guys need to do is just be real about it. And be like, no. Well, let's cheat on each other. Let's just live our lives. Let's be wild. Yeah. It's like, stop with this. Like, you're trying to cosplay as someone you're not.
But
you know
I think Val does value loyalty. Right. And I think that's part of maybe her journey.
Her journey, of course.
Right. But I don't think that David values loyalty with his partner. Well, you better be loyal to David. Right. But David wants to do whatever he wants to do. Of course. Can you imagine if Lo all of a sudden went out on a date with somebody else? God, David would have been a nightmare.
Freaking out.
He would have been a nightmare. Okay. So then we hit episode 9, our finale episode, our final episode, and everyone is reunited on the yacht. I'm dying because James and Lexi are literally wearing matching like tourist hats that they got in Malta. This is where we see Keith and Delaney. They basically end it before, like they end it on their way to the yacht. She like tries to end it with him too, and he gets defensive right away. He's like, well, and you. And I'm like, bye, dude. Bye to Keith. Peace out. Okay.
Cannot believe he lasted all the way to the end. I mean,
Keith.
No offense. Absolute milquetoast. Zero personality. It's pretty shocking.
I know.
Pretty shocking he lasted more than one episode. I thought he was gone day one.
I thought when Delaney came in, okay, when Sade liked Keith and then Delaney liked Keith, these are two incredible women. I was like, maybe we're missing something, but turns out he just sucks, okay? Yeah. He just, when you only have a certain amount of people to pick from, you're like, I'm trying to get topside here, whatever. So we now have just the 4 couples remaining because Keith and Delaney are gone, and they have a challenge called the Burn Box. And they use this box to unearth things about the other couples. They have to all write one comment about each of the couples, and they're going to sit and eat together, and they're going to read these hurtful comments about each other. And then Gabby lets them know at the end they're going to vote, and one couple will be removed that evening.
Right.
And it gets spicy, you guys. And I lived.
Lexi was the star of this whole thing.
Lexi was a star.
So Lexi actually up until this point had been pretty like low Switzerland. Key. Like she had even said, like when David did the whole thing, like, hey, you know what? So you got to go with your heart and like da. So she had always been very balanced, very low key, very seeing both sides of all people's struggles and whatever. This time she said, you know what? I'm letting it rip. And she came after David like
so hard. So some of the comments are, David will ghost Val after this. Once a cheater, always a cheater about David, which by the way, when they say once a cheater, always a cheater, someone goes, you cheated in the past? And David goes, that's a great question, and sits in silence. This is what I'm talking about. This man, the moral complex on him where he like is feeling like he's looking down upon everybody, where he's like, yeah, great question. Next.
It's just also funny. It's also a crazy response. I feel like you should have just been like, you know what? That's none of your business. My history's my history. That's a great question. That's like a politician who's being like, that's a great question.
No, you know what that was?
What?
Therapist.
Oh, interesting pull there. Okay, that makes sense.
Where he's like, very nice question.
Oh, how do you feel about that? Like,
how do you feel about it? And you're like,
that was wild.
Excuse me, how do I feel about the fact that you won't tell me if you were a cheater or not?
Right.
Now, the big moment was when Gia, there was a comment that said, Gia is not going to take it to the next level with Tim physically.
Oh, right.
And then
from David.
And it's clearly from David. And by the way, Gia has a great speech where she's just like, hey, listen, I haven't had sex with a lot of people. So for me, I'm only going to have sex with someone when I'm official. I hope everyone can respect the way I fuck. It was like, yes, it was so good. It
was really good.
And she's like, David, was that from you? And he goes, I don't remember.
Is another crazy
Could he be more of a villain?
I don't remember.
The man is writing the villain handbook. He really is. But then when they keep digging into it, because it gets brought up then numerous times.
He's like, I don't remember, but now that you bring this question up, random person, I have a lot to say about it.
It's when they start then getting to the vote, after they say all the things, they get down to the vote. And David's push is he's basically like, listen, something I've been working on during my time here is that, yes, there is sexual chemistry, but there's also sexual connection. And there's something very different. And some people have chemistry, but not sexual connection. And I'm just worried as I observe that because I've walked through this, I know how valuable it is in a relationship.
I'm a walking example.
And so I know how important it is. And so you guys just have chemistry, not sexual connection. Yeah. So I think you, Gia, and Tim should be removed. And I'm like, fuck this guy.
That was crazy.
So then Gia's sitting there going, so I'm getting removed by the cheater because I haven't had sex with my boyfriend yet. I mean, this is backwards. And then we have Val, who goes,
I'll do
anything. David's been here longer than me. And the girls are like, Val's been here for like half of the time at least, which is plenty of time. She's like, David's been here longer. I'm letting him fully take care of it. Like, and that's when I wanted to pop in and be like, Queen Val,
this is a mistake.
But this is a mirror of what David's doing in this relationship. Yeah. He's making you feel small. You came in on this boat. You are not a small.
No.
Like you are a bright, brilliant woman. You are a fucking chemist. Like you he is making you feel small and making you just shrink up. And you see it then even the next day where she's like standing over him being like, I love you so, or you've shown me so many things about myself. And he's just laying there, non-responsive.
This is annoying energy.
You know? And she's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And I hate that for her. And I'm like, no, girl, like, no. Like,
and this is also when we see the real transformation of David from like good guy trying to keep that going to kind of just
throws
starts
it to the
wind.
Let
it rip.
Just throws
it. Because he turns on everybody.
He
turns on James. He turns on Tim. He turns on everybody. He's just like, fuck you, fuck you.
He turns on everybody.
And even James was like, bro, I've been cool with you. What the hell? And so that's kind of really when the line in the sand is drawn. Yeah. And like the second after that goes down, like you could tell no one talks to them anymore. It's like, you're gone.
Well, Jake and Christine. So there's a vote for Tim and Gia. And then, you're thinking, I'm like, are Tim and Gia gonna go?
Like,
because fucking David and Val, right. And then they get to Jake and Christine and they vote for themselves and they remove themselves because they're like, sweet. The money doesn't matter to us. We found each other. And at first I'm like, oh gosh. And even Gabby in the ITMs, she was like, wow, what a hero you are, Jake. But they're still together. So you know what?
It was really sweet. They were kind of going, you know what? Like, there's a couple people here who deserve to win this thing.
Yeah.
We don't, but we also deserve to be happy and stay together. So we're going to leave. And I thought that was like, that's how you do it.
It was so cute.
Versus David's still fighting.
David's still fucking there.
That's insane to have those two people remove themselves out of respect. And David and Val are fighting for the win.
Well, also, I'm just like, David, like, just have you not had enough?
I know.
Take your gal and get out of here.
And you think you're going to win? Like, there's no world you win. So it's kind of like...
What are you still doing
there's
here?
No world you still win.
Maybe contractually they weren't letting him leave.
Maybe they had some sort of thing. Because like, they had to know they're not going to win, so why go through all this?
But I thought it was cute that they left and they're still together.
Yeah,
so shout out to them. Shout out to them. So the final couples are Tim and Gia, David and Val, and James and Lexi. And the next day... God, when he's laying there sprawled out, when she's like showing him her heart, he's so nonchalant. She's like
crying, and
he's so nonchalant. I was like pulling my hair out.
He gave zero chalants.
He's zero chalants. Never choose a nonchalant man.
A chalantless guy.
No, like a nonchalant guy is the worst. You want a guy who is just
full of chalants.
Full of chalants. A full chalant. So then we have their final moment. So we're going to find out who wins the final vote. The castaways get to come back and vote to determine who wins Love Overboard. And David right away is like, well, fuck this. Because David knows that he's David's screwed, right? And it's just cute because, James cries, declares his love. Lexi declares his love. Tim and Gia declare their love. Everyone's like, wow, you guys are so sweet. Yeah. You see the cast really love James and Lexi and Tim and Gia and really stand by and support them. And then when they get to David and Val, before David even speaks, Lo stands up and she goes, Gabby, can I read something? And Gabby goes, yeah. Go for it. Go ahead and read it. And that's when Lo apologizes to Val about how she spoke at the beach club. And she's like, it was David's responsibility to act a certain way on the date, not me. And what I loved when she's like, David, what we had was real, but your demons are even more real. And I'm like, hell fucking yes, because his demon behavior, that's real. It's like, you need to face your demons, sir, because you asked me to be a girlfriend to fish, and what are we doing sitting here? And he then, and everyone, by the way, everyone applauds after her letter, and she's like, thank you. It's like everyone after the letter is like a nice clap, and then she's like, thank you very much, thank you very much. And David's just like, I'm sorry. So then when everyone's voting, we do have the moment where Val talks to David and she's like, hey,
you didn't do anything. You literally didn't even respond with anything.
You just apologized and you didn't declare. And see, that's something that's interesting that Val brought up. It's like, David, if you're going to villain out, the only way that this could have been successful is if you stood by Val and said, don't talk about my woman that way. I knew from the get that she was my girl. And when I was sat with her for the first time, I could feel our chemistry. He has been on the fence.
That's the classic Love Island thing, because obviously this happens a lot in Love Island where there's like crazy switches and betrayals.
Yeah.
But the way they went out is they go, you know what, I understand it was shitty what I did, but like this person means a lot to me. This is my person, and I have a huge connection, and I really want to see how this goes. He's just like, yeah, sorry about all that. Anyway,
well, through this entire process,
why should I say anything?
Through this whole process, even when Tim was like, do you think Val could be your person? And he goes, I think maybe. So he just was so half-ass about being with Val and didn't stand by her. So then my heart
even when they're on the plank at the very end, he goes, if this is the last time I ever see you, it's been fun. And And it was like, what?
That's why my heart was hurting for Val, where I'm like, Val, like, know your worth.
She had to know, like,
know
I made
your
a mistake
worth
here.
because this man he's like then not even pulling the full villain and being like, that's my woman, and my final words are going to be, I want to apologize to Lo, and now I'm going to talk about why Val means so much to me and why I think that, like, you know, we're going to work and what our life's going to be like after this together. But he doesn't fucking care.
He doesn't.
He doesn't care. Well, the final plank ceremony, James and Lexi are eliminated first, and people are like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But then Lexi runs and jumps in.
Cutest
and
thing
she's
ever.
like, and she dives off of
Jumps
that.
off.
Dives
chases
off of
him
that.
into the
Chases
boat.
him into the
and she's
water.
like, I'm not waiting for him to like get changed and go through. I'm gonna go with him.
Cute.
I mean,
cute.
they should have won.
Well, news. They're not together anymore.
Damn it.
But at least from what I've seen now, is they're friends.
Good.
And they still have a sweet relationship.
Okay.
But one lives on, like, they live on the opposite coast, and it was
tough.
just
And
a
they're
little
so
tough.
young,
And they're
too.
young.
It's like,
but I think everything is like good. We love each other, but it didn't work out. So then after that, David and Val are eliminated.
Yeah.
They are eliminated, and the most recent news from David and Val, they are, drumroll please, no longer together.
What?
And apparently they ended quite shortly after
what?
they left the boat. And from what I've heard, allegedly, is that David cheated on Val. Allegedly, that David cheated on Val. Val has said online that she will come forward and tell her story soon, but Lo had mentioned that she said that Val came to her and was like, you were right, he's cheated on me. And now they're Val and Lo are good, and Lo was like, I told you so, you know, whatever. And that he like cheated right away. So that's alleged, but we'll see what Val has to say soon.
Pretty crazy to cheat that much. To feel like if he got back and cheated within like a couple months, just to cheat like 3 times or whatever. It's like, dude.
He's like, but I found someone with more plastic, and you know how I love plastic.
It's crazy to have that lack of self-control. It's pretty unreal.
It's wild. Well, the
good riddance.
winners are Tim and Gia.
And they're still together.
Well,
right?
Here's the thing. So Tim and Gia, when asked if they're still together, they have been very coy and said, you'll have to wait and see to follow the adventures. So
they're trying to build some sort of career with
I don't know if they're still together.
They're dropping a vlog.
I don't know if they're still together and they're trying to build followers to be like, hey, tune in to see. It looks like they're still together. They're
gonna drop the vlog.
They live 5 minutes away. They've mentioned like, yes, we live close by. Just wait and see. I think by the way, by the time that this comes out, because we're recording this episode a few days before we release it, because I'm getting dental surgery in the meantime. Hopefully I don't get too crazy, wild and high on my medication before I get my dental surgery done. But what I was saying was maybe even in the meantime, they've officially said we're together or we're not together, but I'm pretty sure that they're still together. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. And you know what? They haven't taken their vacation yet.
Okay.
So I don't know if they've gotten paid or taken their vacation yet. Well, we'll take the money and the vacation. Yeah, because all those photos that they had at the very end, those were all just taken in Malta.
Of course. It's a little shots.
Confirmed by Tim. He was like, we did just like a fun little photo shoot to make it look like they went on their vacation.
Classic.
But hey, you know what?
Great show.
I loved every second of it.
Now, I can't tell if the show's that good or if they just got lucky with like amazing casting and a storyline, because there was so much drama. There was so much back and forth. There was nail biting. You know, I don't know if the show is like that was responsible or if it was like they have a great casting. I don't know what it was, but the season was fantastic.
I think it was a combination, because I think when you have a killer host like Gabby who makes you laugh the whole time.
That's true. That was huge.
I think when you have
that much time together, people actually start to have real feelings for each other. I think when you are there every five minutes there was something new. That's true.
A new challenge.
Very busy.
A new shipwrecker.
Love Island does a lot of just sit around all day. This was like everything was new.
But Love Island then brings the difference, because there's so many episodes.
True.
But like I feel like sometimes with The Bachelor and Bachelorette, it's like it just can stale out.
Yep.
Versus this is like bam, 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 bam.
Fresh.
And it was MTV style unhinged drama.
Totally.
Like it was we had an MTV style casting where it was just the players were wild. You walked away falling in love with a lot of people, hating certain people. Like it was just,
it had everything.
It really did have everything.
Had everything.
It really did.
People you loved, hated,
I loved
drama.
it. I loved every single
new
episode.
Characters. Yeah. It was great.
I loved every single episode. It was unhinged.
Easy watch.
And it's weird to say it's a palate cleanser because it was so unhinged, but it kind of was just like I could just turn my brain off and I just was like, this is wild.
It was just fun to be a part of.
So,
well, thanks for coming on the journey with us.
Thank you for coming on that quick little journey with us, family. We hope that you enjoyed it, and we cannot wait to start our Temptation Island journey, which always is unhinged.
Is unhinged in a journey.
Whew. Love Temptation Island.
It's gonna be awesome.
So very excited
I love
about
y'all.
that. Love you all so much, and see you next week.
Yes.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.